New videos every day.
Hello, Joseph Stickland here, an applied clinical nutritionist here in Austin, Texas. And today I'm asking you the question of, what's your favorite type of oil to cook with? Do you use canola oil? Do you use olive oil? Coconut oil? What do you use? And also, how do you feel about the type of fat, whether it be saturated, trans fat, or any other kind of fat? What do you feel is healthy and what do you feel is not? I'm going to be talking about that today, so go ahead and pause the video here, put down your response, and then continue watching from this point. So today I'm talking about fat, but specifically what its effect is on heart disease and cholesterol, because a lot of times people believe that there is a correlation between the type of fat eaten and heart disease and cholesterol. And there might be a connection there. I don't know. But I'm going to delve into the research today and go over that for you so you can have an idea of what good sources of fat are. That way you're eating the right sources of fat, and maybe it can even help your cholesterol and help you with heart disease down the road. So saturated fats are the first type of fat I'm going to talk about today. And these are mostly found in animal fats, other than the coconut, pretty much. And they traditionally have been looked at and shed a bad light on. There was one study where supposedly the study findings were that it caused colon cancer. I would say that probably the meats that they were giving to people were processed, and it was probably more the processing of the meat being dead meat that caused that. But that might not be the case. I don't know. But the reason I bring this up is because there was recently another research study done, and I got the article where a reporter talks about it on the New York Times. So I'm going to be going over that article with you. Very interesting. Just Google New York Times saturated fat. It's from this month, the 21st, so it's hot off the presses. But this is basically, in summary, what they found. So the question that this study set out to find was, do saturated fats cause heart disease and high cholesterol? What the trial tends to indicate is that people that were eating a high saturated fat diet, meaning they were on like an Atkins diet or a pretty much low carb diet that had a lot of animal fat in it, that study group had lower cholesterol and less signs of heart disease. So, per this study, it does seem, at least in the short term of this study, it was done over 2 years, that the diet with saturated fat was not the wrong one, but the one with heavy carbohydrates was the wrong one. I certainly find that clinically, and I find that very interesting that they found that correlation in this study. But you can go on the internet and look it up, just Wall Street Journal, 721, saturated fats, and you can read the specifics of it. But it's a very interesting article. I'll also post a link to it. Of course, I'm just going to breeze over this one, trans fats. They're bad for you. Hydrogenated oil. A lot of times people ask me what hydrogenation is. They basically take an oil that is going to go bad. If you just let it sit out, it would go bad. And they heat it up and force it into a different style so that it won't go bad. Basically, it could just sit on the shelves for years. So if you put hydrogenated oil into products, for instance, cereal, anything that'll sit on the shelf, it won't go bad. The fat actually won't turn rancid. The only problem is it's a lot like plastic, and it's been shown to cause cancer, and there's a lot of research on that. So, of course, stay away from trans fats. That's why on all the packages it's saying 0 trans fat. That's actually a lie, because they can have 0.5 of a gram and still say no trans fats. But regardless, trans fats are bad. We know that. There's no argument there. Now, the other types of oils, You have olive oil in that category, canola oil, basically the vegetable oils. And those traditionally have been said to be the better ones for you. I personally love olive oil. I think it's great. I don't like to cook with it because when you cook it, then it destroys the taste, and it also changes the properties of it, and it actually does hydrogenate and create trans fats from that part that's heated up real hot. But olive oil is great on like a salad or really low heat. If you just kind of simmer it there for a while, it won't cause a problem. But when you put the olive oil on the skillet and then it, you get all that smoke off of it, that you're ruining the oil, you're burning the oil. So what I use traditionally instead of that is coconut oil. It's high in saturated fat. It's one of the few vegetable sources that is high in saturated fat. But there are so many good properties about a coconut that I'm going to go over those one by one with you. First thing about coconut oil that's great is it's beneficial for heart disease. This is research that's done by Mary G. Enig, PhD. Can be found on Weston A. Price's website. And it's extremely beneficial. There's several studies that they cite, but basically the lowdown is just like what they found in the trial on the New York Times article, in it being saturated fats being good for you. Well, the same thing was found in these other studies, that they help reduce cholesterol and reduce heart disease. This is a random one, but coconut oil has also been used as an anti-poison. There's a specific thing which I'm going to read to you. Aluminum phosphide poisoning. So if you get a whole bunch of aluminum phosphide, coconut oil will help you. So that's yet another use for it. And perhaps one of the greatest things about coconut oil is that it naturally kills viruses and bacteria. So if you have it in your diet, then you're going to make it easier for your immune system. You'll probably reduce the number of sick days you have. So it's a great, great thing to do. And in fact, I'm going to read you the actual information on what it does. Difficult bacteria, such as Staphylococcus aureus, staph infections, are affected by coconut oil. So coconut oil is even effective against ones that some antibiotics won't go against. So definitely something to think about if you're on antibiotics. Take the coconut oil. It can't hurt. If you're prone to infections, prone to bacterial infections, prone to flus and colds and all this, put the coconut oil in your diet, and hopefully that'll help you prevent some of these things from happening. And perhaps the best and greatest thing about coconut oil is that it's one of the only fats that actually produces weight loss. It's so easy for the body to digest that it actually acts to give you energy instead of taking it from you. It's very easy to digest, very easy on the digestive system, so it doesn't generally get stored as fat, but actually gets used as energy. So coconut oil, if you want to lose weight, just drink some coconut oil. Not a whole lot, just a tablespoon or so a day, and that'll help you lose weight. But cook with it, use it, and love it because it's great for you. So there's a lot of information on coconut oil, a saturated fat, on the internet that you can look up and go to and search about. But it is great for you. Don't be afraid of eating the saturated fats from animals. Of course, everything in moderation. It's very important that you don't just go out and eat only meat, or just go out and eat only vegetables, or just go out and eat only fruit. It takes a combination of everything in order to make you healthy. You are what you eat, a famous saying on that, and it's very true. If you have too much of any one thing, it'll kill you. So you have everything in moderation. However, the one exception to that, I will say, is grains. You want to have very, very little grain. And that seems to be true for the study on saturated fats. Thank you for watching this. subscribe to this channel. Go to my website. I'm going to be retooling it pretty soon. I've also got some lectures coming up. Body, Mind, Spirit Expo, August 2nd and 3rd. I've got a lecture on August 3rd. Feel free to go to the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo and check out my lecture while you're there. But until next time, enjoy.
For more great videos like this one, check out the Psychetruth channel on YouTube.
Woo, 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 woo.